The Hart nominees, any surprises there for you? Draisaitl, McKinnon, and Panarin.
No, and what makes the Hart so interesting is that the phrasing of the award, it's not best player. It's most valuable player. And so that opens it up to interpretation. What's interesting is that Connor McDavid's not in it. And I understand he had a teammate that had a better statistical season than him. I don't think anyone suggests that he has a teammate that is better than him. But it's amazing that, again, he's not going to be a finalist. When he came second in the league in scoring, and he missed a little bit of time, and still he wasn't a finalist. I'm not saying he should have, but that's the most noteworthy thing. To me, if I had to go valuable to his team, it's going to be probably Artemi Panarin.
I
then
totally
Nathan
agree.
McKinnon, and then Draisaitl. If you were going to say, most productive season, I would say Draisaitl.
Yep.
If you're going to say best player of the three of them, I probably would say McKinnon. But if it's just value, then Panarin, if you look at what he did on the ice, his splits when him on the ice, him not on the ice, the impact he had in chances and shots in goals versus when he's not, the fact that he turned Strome into a legit frontline center. He didn't play with Zibanejad, who's a really good player at their second line center. He played with Strome most of the year. He is a great, great player, and I think he did more to benefit his team to a greater extent than the other two guys, if I had to vote on the definition of value.
Right. Well, and this is where, again, the arbitrary guidelines of the Hart Trophy and the MVP are so difficult to follow, because for the majority of the second half of the season, and once the stoppage in play took place and what we've been talking about for months, I have been parroting that I think Draisaitl should win it and will win it, and I still believe he will win it. But that was under the guise of, if you miss the playoffs, you don't get nominated. So I wasn't thinking Panarin was going to be nominated, but now he will be. He is, because he's one of the 12 teams or 24 teams that made the playoffs, where if this was a conventional 82-game season, I don't think the Rangers would get in. So I don't think Panarin would be nominated based on the way the history of the award has been handled and how people have voted.
He probably should have been.
He should have been.
Whether they made the playoffs or not. But you're right. History has shown us that McDavid was a question mark when he was leading the league in scoring, but his team wasn't making the playoffs. So
exactly.
I think that's a safe statement.
And I will say anecdotally, which I don't have a vote in this, and it's just my own thought process. I was lucky enough to go down to, I don't know how many Leaf games I got to. I got to maybe 7 or 8, whatever it was, including the McDavid game when he put on that clinic and he turnstile Riley.
Inside.
He had himself a night. The best performance I saw all year for an opposing player or a Maple Leaf was Artemi Panarin when the Rangers were in town right around Christmas. I was at that game. I think he had 4 assists. I believe all 4 were primary assists. Tony DeAngelo scored in overtime. Panarin set that up. Panarin put on a clinic that night. I'm telling you, it was the best game I'd seen anyone play in that building all night, all year. And I wasn't at every game, and it's a completely anecdotal, very specific example of one game over the course of 70 that he played all year. But I remember leaving that rink thinking, man, I knew he was a great player, but this dude is so locked in. He is so good. Ryan Strome, I think, scored twice that night, all because of Panarin. He played with Strome and Jesper Fast or whatever, wasn't it? Whoever he played with, like guys that are not top line players. Like, put it that way. On 20, 25 teams in the league, these guys are not anywhere close to the top line. And he dragged them up, and he put on a performance. His stats would indicate that. The second half numbers, he blew everyone else out of the water. 5-on-5 numbers, the amount of, the goal differential when he's on the ice compared to when he's off the ice. Everything adds up to Panarin.
Yeah. And Leon Draisaitl had a great year, but he had the month of December where he had a tough time. The team had a tough time, and his, the season's only 5 months long, right? That's what they played, 5 months. And if you have one bad month out of 5, well, that's 20% of the year that, and he was really bad that month. So that would probably hurt his candidacy. Now, Nathan McKinnon, what he did when Landeskog and Rantanen were out there, his numbers, his splits are also through the roof. But
there's a reason they're all up for the MVP.
Yeah, I mean, they're all deserving, but I don't vote either. So I could make this argument. I don't have to tell you what I did, but I think I would be leaning toward Panarin as well.
Yeah, I mean, we'll see where that goes.